Hello, everybody. My name is William Fleming, and I am going to show off a couple of mechanics that I've been asked to introduce to Tournamental, which is a tile based game project that we've been working on in class over the past month or so. So I've got 3 levels here to show off 2 different mechanics, one of which I showed off in a separate video last week. That was the ice tiles that I developed myself. This week I'm going to focus more on what we're calling breakaway tiles, which were developed by my colleague Sam Gadson, and I was asked to implement into my own project. So in the first level here, this is the same as the one from last week. We've got several ice tiles in the middle of this map. The light blue tiles there with that sort of white reflective streak on them. And if the player or an object steps onto those, it will slide from one end to the other until it either hits a wall or comes back to a floor tile. So in order to solve a puzzle like this and line yourself up with that wind tile, you need a block like this one, which will fill in the wall and allow you to reach the exit. Now the second level here is the introduction of the breakaway tiles. So you might notice 2 tiles in the middle of this map that have this sort of black, kind of crumbly fracture texture to them. And if something were to enter a tile with that texture, you hear that audio cue to give you some heads up that something might be happening. When that object exits the tile, it collapses and falls away. And the next thing to step into that space falls as well. So that is the same as the pit mechanic. So in a puzzle like this one, there's a couple different ways to solve it. This is probably the simplest here. But that will introduce then the player to the fall mechanic, the breakaway tiles. So here in the last level, this sizable level here, I've introduced both mechanics. I've actually combined them into a single blueprint here. So we've got a field full of ice, typical ice tiles, but then we've also got these ice tiles with that fractured surface. And again, if you were to push a block over all of this, it will slide from one end to the other, but it will cause those breakaway tiles to collapse as well. And same with the player. As you move over those tiles collapse. So let's see if I can solve this the way I intended to. Put in a lot of these extra blocks and breakaway tiles as a distraction. Yep. Helps to hit the right buttons. There we go. Got myself to the exit here. So there you go. See the combination of both mechanics. So let's jump back over to Unreal here, and we'll take a look at the blueprints for this. So this is the ice tile. Let's go over to the main one first. And just in the viewport here, you can see it is just a regular plane, two-sided material on there that has the same red base color as the rest of the floor tiles. And then that alpha mask that I just drew quickly in Google Drawings to give it that fractured texture. And in the event graph, we'll see that when begin play starts, we've got a couple of things we're just initializing, so we're ready to use them later. The most important one is the steps used here. So this will be used to actually determine how many times an entity has moved into the tile. And then over here, we are setting the start position of the tile, getting that from where the plane is, and then setting the end position after a specified fall distance, which we've taken from the pit mechanic. In the event on entered, the first thing we're going to do is increment the steps used, which again starts at 0, so that goes up to, in this case, 1 the first time. And then we want to check if the tile is even still there at this point. And you can probably do these in either order, honestly. But we've got another steps available variable here, which is instance editable. So if you put in multiple tiles and you want to change some of them to be 2 or 3 steps instead of just 1 before they collapse, you can change that. And then here we're going to check to see if that has been exceeded. If it has and the tile is gone, then again, this functions like a pit. So this is similar to the pit mechanics where you're taking away input determining where the entity that's on that tile is, how far it's going to fall, and where that position is, and then animating that fall. Then if it was the player that fell, we'll reset the level. If it was any other entity, then we just destroy that entity. I did add that if you step on that tile again, and first time or second time, whichever time, and the tile is still there, then you'll get this audio cue, again, just to give the player a little more feedback and heads up. On event on exit, if you step out of the tile and have used all of the steps available, so if you equal or exceed the set number of steps for that tile, then the audio cue will play of the tile falling, and the animation will start, again, taking those positions that we found earlier, moving the plane, and also just rotating it a little bit for a better visual effect. If we go over to the Breakaway ice tile, again, very similar. I created a separate material for the Breakaway tile and then a material instance of that for this ice tile. We've got the same begin play and the same on exit that we do for the Breakaway. The only difference here is that if you step on the tile, and it's still there, it hasn't fallen away yet, you now take the same mechanics, the same coding that we used for the ice tiles, and implement that. So again, whatever moves onto it, whether it's the player or the box, you want to check that first. It will keep them moving in the same direction. The player will spin as they go across the ice. Otherwise, it functions identically to the other one. So I think that should cover everything. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining, and I look forward to seeing what we do next. Thanks.